Hello and welcome to Primetime Football European Edition. This time we are going to visit London, first of the two London games played at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, in which Browns are going to face the Vikings. Well, at least the good news is there is going to be some good football played on that stadium. Sorry, Tottenham's fans. Now, with this one, my storyline is Dillon over Deion. And what I'm talking about? Well, let's find out. Dillon Gabriel, he has it super hard. So imagine his situation. His big moment, he was drafted in the third round this season. But nobody kind of talked about it because the huge storyline was, what's happening with Shadur? Why is Shadur falling? What's going on? And then Cleveland Browns, probably based on the word of their owner, stepped in and was like, yeah, we need to draft Shadur. So not only the whole draft crowd and draft media was covering that story, now he's on your team. And to add weirdness into the room, it's whole preseason a lot of the fans was looking for reasons why NFL is trying to screw Shadur, Cleveland is trying to screw Shadur, why is he playing with backups, sue them. This is the storylines were crazy. And now Dillon Gabriel is scheduled to start his first NFL game. And guess what? Guess what everybody's talking about? Oh, Shadur is still being quarterback free, and his mute response. I mean, I do not blame Shadur. I actually think that the response was kind of funny. And I think from what I've heard, he's actually working really hard, and being drafted low is put a chip on his shoulder that could benefit him in the long term. But it's dude, can anyone give this kid a credit? Can we have some spotlight on Dillon Gabriel? I don't care if I did not necessarily like his draft. I felt he was overdrafted a little bit, but man, this is his time. Give him a moment, at least some. It really reminds me of Cam Ward because he was a storyline for a minute, and then it was Travis Hunter trade, Shadur falling. So despite being number one pick, there was almost no draft coverage of Cam Ward this year. So at least here, Dillon, you have your 5 minutes of shine, on my channel. So is he a great quarterback prospect? To me, not necessarily, but I think he has a nice floor. So not necessarily the upside, but the floor is what intrigues me. And for him to be thrown to the Wolves, this is not necessarily a game that I would like to start as my first NFL games, because not only is an international one, which are always kind of weird, but also you are going against Vikings defense led by Brian Flores, and he is a madman. He is a great defensive coach. So good luck, Dillon. Now, the matchup against Ivan Pace Jr. is a very interesting one because I think, knowing Brian Flores, he's going to try to blitz the shit out of the offensive line of the Browns and try to put as much pressure on Dillon Gabriel as he can. And Ivan Pace is born to do that. But when he needs to cover anyone, that's a problem. So this matchup actually could be really decisive about who wins this game, because if Dillon Gabriel can use some of the weaknesses that Ivan Pace has, there is a pathway of this offense to be successful. But if Dillon Gabriel is under pressure, if he sees goals as Sam Darnold did a couple of years ago, then Browns do have a massive problem. For our next matchup, we will visit the tight ends, because with Dillon Gabriel, I told you, linebackers of the Vikings are not necessarily great in coverage, not only Ivan Pace. There's Blake Cashman missing, and that's a huge deal. Now, David Njoku, really not a good year for him so far. He's been outplayed actually by Harold Fannin, a rookie third-round pick. So for a former superstar that had kind of a down year last season, but he was recovering from the injury and we expected him to be back and be great this season, it doesn't look good. He has 1 year left on his deal, and he might be a trade piece for the Browns coming trade deadline. But this is a game when he absolutely can skyrise his stocks, because like I said, linebackers of the Vikings, that's a struggle. And I think Dillon Gabriel, what I appreciate about him, he is actually very good in very precise quarterback. So David Njoku, quick releases, trying to alleviate some of the pressure that Brian Flores is going to put up. Yeah, that could be it. Now, DJ Hawkinson is kind of a third weapon for the Vikings, behind Justin Jefferson and comeback kid in Jordan Addison. And his matchups are not necessarily going to be easy, because Devin Bush and Carson Schlesinger are playing really well. But both I think are slightly better in terms of their run defense. So, it's not the same as linebackers for the Vikings, but also I think this is slightly favorable matchup for the tight end of the Vikings. Now, the last matchup that I'm going to talk about, it's not Myles Garrett. We could obviously talk about him, and he's going to always be big matchup. But you know me, I'm trying to give you some that are not necessarily like on the radar, and it's Mali Collins versus Blake Brandel. Mali Collins was kind of exciting. Nobody gave too much attention. I was not like a super fan because I felt it's too much money for Mali Collins, like given where his like performances were last 2 years. But dude absolutely emerged this year. Like he's 31 and he's playing like out of his mind. I don't think he's played that good of a football ever in the NFL. And he's absolutely like using the fact that you have Mason Graham, that you have obviously Myles Garrett, and those are the guys that that offensive lines are focusing on. So Malik has favorable matchups and he's taking huge advantages of them. And for a lot of investment that has been made into Vikings offensive line, they are back to starting Blake Brandel because of injuries. And Blake, there was a reason why they tried to replace him. Like he was not really good last year and he kind of continued to be kind of meh this season as well. So Mali Collins against Blake Brandel is a matchup that we could actually see quite often, 1v1, and I give a massive advantage to Mali Collins, and that could be a huge problem for the Vikings. Now, it's Dillon Gabriel's for start, so saying that the Browns are favorites would be kind of ridiculous. But at the same time, I kind of like the matchups, but it's all dependent on how can Dillon handle this one. So good luck, kid, and make the most out of your opportunity. That was it. See you with the next one. Bye bye, guys.